So students, here we are with our next video lesson, class 10 science, first chapter, chemical uh, reactions, of course. Now, here we find that chemical reactions and equations. There's an activity you find here. So in case you want to do this activity, please go to activity section and just see how the whole thing is done in the lab. Anyhow, so 39 to 42. Take about 2 grams lead nitrate powder in a boiling tube. Hold the boiling tube with a pair of tongs and heat it over a flame. What do you observe? Note down the change, if any. You will observe the emission of brown fumes. Remember brown. Huh? These fumes are of nitrogen dioxide, NO2. The reaction is as given here. PbNO3, that is lead nitrate. So here is only one reactant, very important for decomposition reactions. One reactant is giving many products. There it was, many products were giving one reactant, so combination reaction. Here it is, one reactant giving many products. So such a reaction is called decomposition reaction. So what we will get here, lead oxide, PbO, nitrogen dioxide, NO2. You have also studied NO. Well, NO is nitric oxide. Then O2, oxygen. What is the valency of lead in lead nitrate? Simple, it is 2 over here because nitrate is -1 and Pb is +2. So that is how it is interchanged comes here. So it is 2. What is Latin name of lead? Pb. Yes, it is plumbum. If it is less valency, then it is called plumbus. If it is more valency, then it is called plumbic. But otherwise we call it plumbum. How many reactants are there in above reaction? So only one reactant. How many products? 3 products. So let us perform some more decomposition reactions. In these decomposition reactions, let us take a plastic mug, drill 2 holes in its base and fit rubber stoppers in these holes. Insert carbon electrodes in these rubber stoppers. Students, you may not like to do it at your place, but you can always see our videos how it is done in the lab. Or you can do it in your classroom or in your school lab under the supervision of a teacher. Connect these electrodes to a 6-volt battery. Fill the mug with water such that the electrodes are immersed. Add a few drops of very important dilute sulfuric acid. Otherwise, water is not a good conductor and pure water is definitely not. But when water is impure or we add dilute sulfuric acid, then it helps in ionization because sulfuric acid breaks down into H positive ions and sulfate ions, and that is helpful in conduction of electricity. Because what is electricity? It is nothing but movement of ions. Anyhow, take 2 test tubes filled in with water and invert them over the 2 carbon electrodes. Switch on the current and leave the apparatus undisturbed for some time. What you find? You will observe the formation of bubbles at both the electrodes. So in one of the tubes you will get oxygen and in another tube you will get hydrogen gas because water has got 2 parts, 2 components. These bubbles displace water in the test tubes. Is the volume of the gas collected the same in both the test tubes? No. Hydrogen is always double than the volume of oxygen. Once the test tubes are filled with respective gases, remove them carefully. Test these gases and you will find that one is hydrogen, which is twice the volume of the gas, and another one is oxygen, which is of course as compared to hydrogen is half. Make this diagram or figure from your book carefully. Which acid is added in water in small quantity? H2SO4. And now you have to calculate its molecular weight. H2 means hydrogen is 1 into 2, S means mass number is 32, oxygen 16. So 16 fours are 64 plus 32 plus 2. It comes out to be 98. Do it in a nice manner. Name the 2 gases collected in the test tube and also mention their ratio. So we have just discussed 2 gases, hydrogen and oxygen. Hydrogen is double than oxygen. When we bring a burning candle close to the mouth of one of the test tubes, the gas in the test tube catches fire and burns with a pop sound indicating that the gas is hydrogen. Hydrogen burns with pop sound. And second one is it has got abundance of oxygen. So when you bring something which is somehow, I mean again, lightning something, what we find that it burns vigorously. So the higher the oxygen concentration, the more vigorously the candle will burn. So that shows that oxygen is helpful in burning, while hydrogen burn itself. So very important. The gas collected at the anode is oxygen, and gas collected at cathode is hydrogen. Why does it take place? This you will study in your next class, that is 11th or 12th class. Which gas in the above activity catches fire and burned with pop sound? Well, just discussed, hydrogen. Which gas in the above activity is collected at anode? Well, just seen, oxygen. 47, 48 activity. Take about 2 grams silver chloride in a china dish. What is its color? Place this china dish in sunlight for some time. Observe the color of the silver chloride after some time. You will see that white silver chloride turns grey in sunlight. This is due to the decomposition of silver chloride into the silver and chlorine by light. So students, if you see this reaction here, AgCl, that is silver chloride, is giving you silver and chlorine, and then white silver chloride turns grey after some time or in the sunlight. This is due to the decomposition of silver chloride into silver and chlorine by light. So the first question which is there important for us here is that what is the color of silver chloride? So now silver chloride is, yes, any guess, is brown in color. Why does silver chloride turns grey in sunlight? As we have just discussed, that it decomposes into silver and chlorine by light. Then we move to our next part. We move to now 49. Silver bromide also behaves in the same way. Silver bromide breaks into sunlight, giving you silver and bromine. Remember student, the silver bromide is yellow in color. So just you may like to remember that silver bromide is yellow in color and silver chloride is white. Which reaction is used in black and white photography? Well, the same reaction as we have just seen. 50th. What form of energy is causing these decomposition reactions to take place? We have seen that the decomposition reactions require energy either in the form of heat or light or electricity for breaking down the reactants. So all these three type of reactions are there. So just remember them carefully. What are endothermic reactions? So those reactions where heat is absorbed for reaction to take place. For all these three, in the first case, heat is absorbed. In second, light gives heat, and in third, electricity is giving the heat. So whenever heat is absorbed, then it is called endothermic reaction here. Then comes displacement reaction. So see this activity. Take 3 iron nails and clean them by rubbing with sandpaper. Take 2 test tubes marked as A and B in each test tube. Take about 10 ml copper sulfate solution. Tie 2 iron nails with a thread and immerse them carefully in the copper sulfate solution in test tube B for about 20 minutes. Keep 1 iron nail aside for comparison. After 20 minutes, take out the iron nails from the copper sulfate solution. Compare the intensity of the blue color of copper sulfate solutions in the test tubes A and B. Also, compare the color of the iron nails dipped in the copper sulfate solution with the one kept aside. Now, the reaction which is taking place here is that copper sulfate reacts with iron to give you ferrous sulfate and copper. So, why does the iron nail become brownish in color here? So, we find that iron nail when reacts with copper sulfate, it gives you brownish color. And second, why the blue color of copper sulfate solution fade? So here what we find that in the beginning FeSO4 which is there, uh, slowly it turns anhydrous ferrous sulfate. So then it turns anhydrous ferrous sulfate. That ferrous sulfate is you can say shows brownish sort of a shade. So that is why, and subsequently this also decomposes to give you not FeSO4 as such, but it turns into FeO, that is ferrous oxide. So this ferrous oxide basically is giving brownish color. And why the turn blue color of copper sulfate solution fade? Because copper sulfate is giving color here, but when as reaction is proceeding, this reaction is giving you ferrous sulfate. So copper sulfate is disappearing. So naturally, color will also disappear slowly. 53. In this reaction, iron has displaced or removed another element, copper. So this is what is called displacement reaction. So what are displacement reactions? In which one of the element displaces other element. So zinc has displaced copper and zinc sulfate is formed. Similarly, lead has displaced copper to give you lead chloride. So zinc and lead are more reactive elements than copper. So if the element is more reactive, only then it will able to displace the other less reactive element. Lastly, why zinc and lead displace copper from its compounds? Just discussed. Then comes double displacement reaction. Go through this activity carefully yourself. Here we find that sodium sulfate and barium chloride both have got positive and negative ions. Sodium positive, sulfate negative, barium positive, chloride negative. This positive replaces barium, this barium comes this side. So it becomes sodium chloride and barium sulfate. So now both the ions are displaced, that is why it is called double displacement reaction. What is precipitation reaction? What causes this? Now the white precipitate of barium sulfate formed here, they are in the form of precipitates. So in case two reactants give precipitate, then it is called precipitation reaction. And lastly, what is the color of barium sulfate here? Now the white precipitate of barium sulfate is formed. So it means the color of barium sulfate is white. So with this we finish this video. Note down all these things very carefully. You can always visit our website for all these activities which we have demonstrated in our laboratory. So all the best then. Bye.